Hi, everybody. Deborah Morris, Keller Williams, your Central Florida Realtor. As you know, I am very involved in the chambers here locally in Central Florida, and I have the honor of talking to two wonderful individuals, business owners today from the Seminole Chamber, who have some interesting tips and stories to share with you about HR, human resources. And so here I want to introduce both Shelly Fiorelli from Worksite and Rick Graves from the HR Doctor. So take it away. Let us know what wonderful things we need to be aware of as business owners.
Um, well, I have been in this wonderful industry for 16 years now, and I've loved every minute of it. There's lots of different stories, but lots of different businesses choose a PEO for lots of different reasons. One of the main reasons I feel that clients come to us is because they get overwhelmed with a lot of having risk decisions. And having employees is a big undertaking for anybody. Once you have employees, usually when you start off with one and two employees, you don't feel like you need too much to start off with. You just want to get your feet off the ground and get going with your business. Once you get to five or six, then you start to feel like you need to have some HR services. You may want to have some benefits. You want to offer some things that your competition across the street is offering. Therefore, you can attract and retain better employees. And that's really the goal, is for us to partner with a business and help bring to their employees lots of wonderful things so they can stay working for this particular company or employer. Um, by having us in place, it cuts the cost for employers, because if they go out on their own and they're a small company, I'm sure they find that it's very expensive to look at benefits for their employees. So usually they don't, because the government doesn't require companies to offer benefits to their employees until they have 50 or plus employees. So unfortunately, for smaller businesses, those employees suffer and don't get to have benefits because they feel like it's too expensive and they don't want to bother with it. So that's one thing that we can really help small businesses. They only have to have two employees. Usually the larger carriers out there require at least 75% of their staff be on the benefits in order to offer group benefits. At Worksite, we don't require that. We only require two employees, and there's no underwriting at all. So everybody can be on the offering of health that we have. So they can go see doctors, they can get medical treatments just like they could with any other medical provider, which is wonderful, and it's inexpensive. So if there was one giant thing out there that we do at Worksite really, really well, is provide healthcare to businesses at a good, and they don't have to contribute either. Normally it's 50% of the lowest employee only rate that is required of businesses to pay per employee. And with Worksite, we don't require you to do that. You can pay what you want towards those benefits, but just get them to your employees. That's the most important thing, that they get the care that they need, not that it breaks your bank. So, and we payroll deduct that. So, employees, and they can have their spouses, their children on the benefits as well. So group and benefits is one of the main things that I feel that we shout at our clients. It's a wonderful thing that we can offer. We
I
take
have a
care of,
question for you, though.
yeah.
We're a husband-wife team. Of course, we have potential of and plans to have a bigger team in the future. So when you're talking about employees, you're talking about not Chuck and myself, but those
Can
others
be.
that you're hiring, correct?
It actually can be you and your husband as well. Yes, it can be the owner, of two owners of a company, as long as you're on individual plans. That's the only stipulation, is that you would have your own plan, he would have his own plan. And then the child that you would have would be on one of your plans. And then the sorry, my husband just walked in.
Husbands
And
are
then
allowed to be here, no problem.
And then we also offer, so yes, it's a tremendous, wonderful, you get a card, just like any other card. You take that, you can go on our website and actually see what doctors that you have are already on our plan. We have over 500,000 doctors in the network. It's a PPO. So it's wonderful. And it's inexpensive, and it's a way to get benefits without breaking the bank. Also the workman's compensation, a lot of small companies, my husband had this happen to himself. For instance, he had a framing company for 17 years, and we had no accidents, no workers' comp loss, nothing. And then one day, one guy, they built brand new homes, walked off the second story of the house, broke both ankles, and it was $100,000 claim. Well, instantly, my husband's company's workers' comp got canceled. And without workers' compensation, you can't function as a company. So he had to actually close his doors for the first time in 17 years. We reopened under my name and under a PEO, but for a moment there, it was really scary because he was going to lose his whole business and everything he and his dad had worked for their whole lives, only because of some guy that was careless and not paying attention. But they had the workers' comp in place to take care of it. When you go with a PEO, you shift the risk away from yourself because we become the employer of record for your company. And you still make all the decisions regarding your company, who you hire, who you fire, how much you pay, all those type of important decisions. We do everything in the back office and take care of all the taxes, all the W-2s, the risk management regarding your workman's compensation. And then the other thing, you keep your money in your pocket, because usually with workers' compensation, they require 25% down on if it's a new business, to have workman's compensation. And then they do this cute little true up at the end of the year where they audit you. So if you have more hours than what you were expecting to, then you have to come up with this big lump sum. Oh, well, just give us $10,000 because you had those, 100 hours extra you weren't expecting, or whatever it ends up being. So this way it's pay as you go. There's no surprises. You pay your workman's comp. If you pay biweekly, you pay your workers' comp biweekly. If you pay it weekly, you pay that weekly. And then there's no surprises at the end of the year. You just pay as you go. We provide your certificates on demand as you need them, and you don't miss a step, and you're covered. And if anything happens, workman's compensation, it doesn't affect your mod, it affects us. So you get to walk away and be protected and not have to stress over that. You can just grow your business and not worry about things like that, things like benefits and workman's compensation at HR. We take care of all that for our clients, and they love it. And I tell you what, it's once they come over to us, they don't go back. I mean, we have less than a 1% attrition rate of clients leaving us once they come over, because it's so easy for them to do their job and grow their business and not have to worry about benefits or health, workman's compensation or HR. Anything regarding having employees, that's what we're for. You shift that all over to us and you go, goodbye, I don't have to take care of that anymore. But we're your partner.
That's wonderful. Well, I know you and Rick are similar yet a little bit different. So while I have you on speaking right now, please share the best way for them to reach out to you when they have questions, because I'm sure they do.
To me?
For Shelly, yes. Oh, and then we'll get Rick to talk.
My number is 407-435-7709. You can call me. I'll answer my cell phone anytime. Or you can email me at shelly@worksiteemployee.com and send me an email, and I can come out to your place. I like to do business in person. So I'm with the chamber, the Seminole Chamber. I'm at a lot of events. Grab me at one of those events. Ask me questions. I'll answer all those questions. Email me, call me. If there's anything I can answer for you on this subject or others, even just payroll, I'd love to answer those questions for you guys.
Fantastic. Well, we definitely need to focus on our lane and let somebody else who's good at it focus on the other stuff. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Shelly. Rick.
Yes.
How you doing?
Good. I'm doing great. That was a great overview that Shelly gave of PEOs. And for the uninitiated, a PEO is a professional employers organization. We all like to say our buzzwords, and we in the business think that everybody knows those letters, but in case somebody doesn't, that's what it stands for. What I do a little bit differently from Shelly is, well, first of all, I haven't been in the business quite as long. I'm coming up on 5 years in May. And what I do that's a little bit different from Shelly is I represent several PEOs. Shelly is an employee of Worksite, and Worksite is one of the PEOs that I use and bring my clients to. And it's a great PEO. And there's always a good fit between what a PEO can offer, depending what they have, and a customer. So I like to match them up to the best of my ability. So what I'd like to talk about is kind of my story, and this may give you an example of why PEOs are really good. Before I get into this business 5 years ago, I had my own business up in New England for 25 years. And it was a computer services business, a little different from what I'm doing here. And at the height of our greatness, we had 18 employees, and I was kind of in charge of all the operations things. I did all the buying, and I did all the HR, and I did all the kind of marketing stuff, and my business partner concentrated on sales. So I spent a lot of time doing all the things that Shelly mentioned, going out and negotiating with a healthcare company for health insurance, and negotiating with extended benefits like Aflac or Colonial, negotiating those, trying to find a dental plan, and making sure, as Shelly mentioned, you've got enough of a percentage of people signing up. I had to write my own employee handbook. I had to write my own job descriptions. I did all those things myself. And quite frankly, it took a lot of time. Then on top of that, um, as an owner, you're managing your employees every day, and somebody will come in and say, how much vacation time do I have left? Or they might say, I need to go get a car and the bank wants my last 3 paycheck stubs. Can you get them for me? So you have all these kind of administrative interruptions that bite into your day as a business owner. So one day, a representative of PEO walked into my office and introduced himself. And I went through the whole process of learning about PEOs and what they could do for me. I ended up signing up with them, and we did it. We ran down a list of, 2 columns. What are you paying for this? What are you doing for that? And here's what the PEO could bring. So for the same services that I had, I ended up saving over $8,000 a year on
Wow.
my 18 employees. So it was kind of a no-brainer. And then all of a sudden, I found that I had anywhere between an hour and a half to 3 hours per week of free time, which you might say that doesn't sound like much, but if you multiply that times 52 weeks, all of a sudden you've got 2 extra work weeks a year to work on your business instead of working at your business. So that's what the real benefit of a PEO is. So what I do in my world is I go out and I find people and kind of explain that to them. Um, and the reason I do that, when I moved here to Florida, I called the PEO that I was a client of, and I said, I'm moving to Florida. I wonder if you could introduce me to some of your clients. Maybe somebody would be interested in having somebody who could be a great general manager for them. So I came down and talked with them, and they said, we just really like your story. How you saved money, how you saved time, how you've been a good client of ours for the last 8 years, and we would like it if you'd consider going out and repping our product. So I did that for a while. And then the PEO that I was with got acquired by a bigger one. And one thing that I did not like is that at the bigger PEO, there was more layers to go through. So if I had a client with a particular need or question, um, I had to go through some channels at the bigger one. But when I was with a smaller PEO, I had the owner's cell number in my pocket, so I could take my phone out and call him up and say, I need a decision on this or that, and get a decision right away. That's why I like working with smaller PEOs like Worksite. Um, that may not be everybody's first name they think of. They might think of Paychecks or ADP, but a company like Worksite, you get great service. You get a person dedicated to your account, and that's really what people want. They don't want to be waiting in a queue to have someone to speak to who doesn't know anything about their company. So my preference is to work with those PEOs and match them up with clients who have a need for personal service and for frankly somebody who will take care of their businesses as well as they would. So
Wonderful.
yep, that's where I come from. And as Shelley mentioned, I'm also a member of the chamber, and I like going out and being kind of a consultant to people and trying to help them do the best they can and worry less about their people and more about growing their business.
Yeah, there's so many different benefits that you can offer as a business owner to the employees to retain them once you have somebody that you find that is of value to your business. So you want to make sure that they have the benefits for you that they need. And so this is great opportunity because again, as a smaller business owner, knowing that you want to grow, or a larger business owner that's just not happy with how they're managing their HR department, you're a great option. So I know I see your cell phone over there right behind you on your screensaver. So if you have any questions, please reach out to Rick or Shelly and at least sit down and have a consultation with them. And then that way you know a little bit more on how you can be a successful business owner in the future. So thank you so much, Rick.
All
And
right. Well, thank you, Deborah, for giving us a chance to educate people about PEOs and what we can do.
you're welcome. If you ever want to mastermind as a small business owner, Chuck and I are always here for you too at 321-348-0014. Not always about real estate. It's about building relationships and trusted relationships with each other. So thank you so much, and you have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.